Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to LoreCrimes. Today we will be discussing or comparing Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer 40,000, deciding which one did it better, looking at things like their factions, their storylines, chaos, etc. Who's the best? Also, I'm back. Hello. I'm in the
He is back.
in-laws.
Hello,
Yeah.
Eli. Hope you're well.
God, all four of the boys are together. The gauntlet is down. I can already sense the White Scars bias immediately. Anything really, nothing's going to be quite as good as White Scars. Thank you guys for listening. Obviously, today we should say if you guys are listening, if you want to catch the live episodes or the donations, all that stuff, you can check us out live on Fridays. We are usually around 9 GMT or British summertime and wherever that is around the world. So if you want to check out the live stuff, it's still there. And if you're thinking, oh, it's gone, don't worry, because in our Discord we still have the link to the unlisted videos. So it's still available for all good people. Of course, we're on offline stuff and all that good stuff. Today, though, we need to settle this score though, because maybe one is better than the other. Maybe the old world really shouldn't have been taken out back and shot like
I know where I stand.
Yeah, I think so. We can compare some of the cool parts here. We are obviously lore guys, so obviously people will let us know how we're going. As in, like, let us know your opinions, because
lore guys committing lore crimes. Kill me.
I'm grabbing for the rope.
Me too, man.
On a lighter note, it's time to compare. Well, we're going to start with a category of the human factions, I think, because that's a fair place to start. Colin, for those who don't know, do you want to rep your fantasy? Do you want to say who's essentially the main protagonist of the humans in their Warhammer Fantasy?
That would be, in the same way that the Imperium is the protagonist faction of, 40K. The Empire of Man would definitely be the protagonist of Warhammer Fantasy. At least, in the focus of who the narrative is looking at for the most part. It's, the Holy Roman Empire with the serial numbers filed off. There's a good bit more detail into that, especially after, 40 years of lore development. But it's quite German. Man, Possum, don't tempt me.
Real Possum.
Possum says repping, saying General Grievous and then logging off.
Yeah, and then leaving the call. Tempting, but not. No, we won't be doing that. But it's Renaissance to early industrial times, depending on what city and where you're at. It's a quaint little place to be. It's the greatest empire, the greatest realm of man in all of the world. Which until recently there really wasn't any competition for that title anyway. So that's yeah.
Should also say there's my people, the Kislev. Kislev exists, which is essentially, imagine if you grabbed all of Eastern Europe and shoved it into like a bag.
One big
shook the bag up and then threw it all out into like a medieval.
It's the Slavic specialty stew.
Yeah, we get that treatment. God forbid we get like a Witcher adaptation or something and they ruin it. I'm still bitter.
No, that would never happen. That would never happen. There's only 2 seasons of The Witcher.
Though isn't the case that the author of the Witcher books is like, I hate the games because what do you mean? There's like different schools of witches. I didn't write that. How dare you?
I think there are different schools of witches in the novels, if I remember. Like there's the human guy character who he hunts down some of the other, like he hunts down witches and he has like medallions of other schools.
I don't know. Well, maybe it's just like specific schools he didn't.
Leon Bonhart, is that his name?
Maybe.
It's been a while since I've read The Witcher books. Anyway, this is not about The Witcher though. We should also say there is Colin. There's a new kid in the block as well. What what happened with Grand Cathay? What did they do there?
Indeed, they've been around. They have been around. They were definitely the background faction that had the most lore, but I'm the smartest of all, the high schoolers that were held back a year. There's only so much you can give them credit for that. But they've always been, fantasy China. The only reason it's a little bit better of a name than Nippon is because less people are aware that Cathay is a name for China than they are that Nippon is what, the Japanese call Japan. So, but yeah, it's fantasy China. They got, like the terracotta warriors. Well, in Warhammer Fantasy, those things are 50 feet tall and, beat you to death. They're ruled by dragons. It's the cool Chinese style of dragon as opposed to the Western style of dragon.
More of a snake dragon, isn't it?
Banana, terracotta. Soldiers.
They have a really cool roster
Box in
though,
here.
in terms of their stuff as well. I think I really did, and it's like a thing where in Warhammer 40k, I guess the equivalent is supposed to be the White Scars, but it's not really the equivalent, is it? Like that's the closest you could get to it.
Even then, the White Scars are more Mongolian.
Yeah,
It's the closest you're going to get.
I've been rereading Scars for a Lodgecast episode, and there's like a bit where Torgen's like, I'm a bit annoyed that the Legion's like specifically recruiting from the Asiatic tribes. I'm like, well, it's the Asian coded faction. One is like, wasn't the Great Crusade all about we're putting that behind us and being like multicultural? I was like, shut up, Torgen, shut up. No one cares.
It was cool. Like I think the Empire of Man is like the main focus in Warhammer Fantasy. Like I say, it's fair to say that 90% of the novels of human focused stuff are Empire of Man.
Like of human focused stuff, at least. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely a lot more Empire books like out of all than there are other ones. There's a couple, like even I guess the Ulrika books are closer to the vampires than they are Cathay now, aren't they? Let's see.
Yeah, we're also going to count as well the fact they have vampires. They have like vampires as like the human factions, because that's something in Warhammer 40k they do not really have. There's no vampires, which I do like vampires.
Blood angels.
I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, those are there, but they're not like proper, vampires, right? Like they're not turning into bats, and the sun is out, so it's time to melt. It ain't no proper von Karstein
Vampire
dynasty.
counts are awesome.
There are those Xenos as well. I can't remember what they're called though.
The actual vampires.
Hulgasts are kind of vampire-ish. They live in hulls.
I remember what those ones are.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. You could be lying to me for all I know.
Just said a slur. For all we know.
Bro, you can't say that.
With the hard ghast? Wow. In 40k though, I would say between the human factions, there's obviously a huge amount of variety. It's like the scale's obviously not really comparable compared to like one world in an entire galaxy. But I say Warhammer Fantasy does a pretty good job at getting itself across that there's more than one kind of focus in the world.
Well, because it's only on one world, they need to develop multiple parts of the world. Like you can't just go Hive World. What's on that world? Hive World. And then that's, it's a Hive World, which there are, I will say it, like some of that is definitely like a matter of taste. And, 40K is hardly the only sci-fi setting to have this is the world of X. That would be just about all of them ever written. But it's, in fantasy, they had to make the world a lot more full than any individual 40K world necessarily needs to be, because you can't just go to another planet. There's only one of those here.
Between the human factions here, though, what do you guys find more exciting, like better between the Imperial Guard and the Empire of Man? Because that's a real tough question.
God.
Yeah. Get away. Get out of here.
Yeah, there's everything from Vestroyans to Cadians to Catachans to
they're all cool.
Macabians to.
I'm not going to say that the Guard isn't cool. Anyone who says that that's just silly.
Much. Even the like Drukian Fengard, all those, like there's so much variety. Druki, all right, there, Druki.
Interesting.
And there's like so much of them. Even the Volponi Blue Bloods and stuff like that. There's so much. And then I feel
a
like
lot of them. and they're all
Empire
cool.
is just Germanic peoples.
Well, see, that's
Okay. Well, we should be comparing the Empire and the Imperial Guard. We shouldn't be comparing the Imperial Guard and every human faction in Warhammer Fantasy.
Yeah, but then we have to talk about Bretonia. Ugh.
no, that is true.
Yeah, which are awesome. Thank
Yeah,
you very
never
much.
mind. Kill this guy. Kill this guy. But no,
Everything in
it's. I
fantasy
mean,
is always more fleshed out, and it's just everything just matters more, which is nice.
it is, and it's like there are like different sub things within the Empire. Like the different, elector counts have their specialties. One of them has like, they have rifles, like proper modern rifles. So
Good old
you can do
Null.
stuff with that. Yeah, no, that's Hawkland.
Oh, Hockland long rifle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other, they have like
Null knits
different
cannons.
traditions and whatnot, and just the same as the different worlds of the Guard all have different traditions, because again, in the real, in reality, different countries and even regions within countries, like it. If you go to someone in the South and say, yeah, you're basically a New Yorker, you're getting shot. Like,
Is it that bad?
It's not that bad. If you call him a Yank, if you call someone in the South a Yankee, you might get
What's wrong
jacked at least.
Mhm.
Is that because the Yankees are a team, aren't they?
No, that's because the Yanks are the Northerners.
Yeah.
Oh, the Civil War. Lovely.
Hello, my fellow Unionists. Like, oh no, they're getting me. But the thing is, if we're going to be like, okay, we're going to make a distinction between all the different human factions in fantasy, are we going to include on the 40k side of things arbitrators? We're going to involve the Administratum, the Inquisition.
See, that's
Yeah.
fair.
I don't know if we need to look for like.
But those aren't
Every si-
cultures; those are just like jobs. That's the problem.
And that's the
Each has
thing.
a
Like the
culture within them, though. I mean, Ecclesiarchy's got a culture, being religion.
they do.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they're just people.
It
Like
is
this-
all like the Imperium is much more monolithic. There's no other options.
The
one
fleshing
do
out
you-
is so lacking.
Which ones do you guys feel more drawn to though? Because obviously we obviously all like Warhammer 40k, but is there like a secret kind of, not like a secret source I'd say, but like something about Warhammer Fantasy, like the Empire of Man? There's something to it which feels, I don't know, like the more grounded side of it. Again, like, I know it makes no sense, but like having a group of boys with a what is it? Not a matchlock rifle, a flintlock pistol or flintlock rifles. Just somehow like I feel more drawn to that as like a regular human for some reason. Like it tickles something in my brain. Does anyone else feel like that same way?
Yeah.
It-
Also, a lot easier to like relate and sympathize with the Empire, and just generally be on their side. Because it's just a desperate situation of humans fighting against things. It's not this giga empire that's slowly decaying. It's like an actual real. It's why Halo has so much better stories than 40k, because everything actually matters, and it's really easy to cheer for the humans in Halo. It's quite easy to cheer for the humans in Warhammer Fantasy as well, other than just like liking the other factions. But like the vampires have like. I don't want the vampires to be humans. That's ridiculous. Whereas in 40k, some people find it easier to root for the Eldar or the Tau, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's a lot easier to get on.
Never
get on
ask an
board with humans
Imperial
in
Guard
fantasy.
general what the most common deployment of the Imperial Guard is.
Do you think
It's
though,
riots? It's killing
Yeah,
rioters.
I know.
would you
But let's
say
not forget that the Spartans, what were they originally developed for, Colin?
Also
Yeah, it's true.
killing rioters.
It's true.
would you
But then
guys
aliens happened.
would you say then between obviously it's not we're not comparing it to Age of Sigmar, but is Warhammer Fantasy greater or lesser for not having an equivalent of Space Marines?
I would say greater. I would say greater. And don't get me wrong, as much as I love bitching about Space Marines, I still find them cool. Look, that's how people get into Warhammer. You see that, you're like, damn, that guy's pretty sick. But I don't know, if like Eli was saying, it makes the struggle feel a little more real. Because even with the Guard, right, like they got tanks. A Baneblade is not a small thing. Like if you are in a Baneblade, you are not the one desperately surviving.
Do you mean me, you, Andy, and Eli can
Right, yeah,
charge
the
it together?
Beyblade that the
Sick
four of us
Beyblade.
could definitely take down.
You attack it from the top, it'll be fine. Yeah, come on,
Andy,
aim up.
Andy, I don't know if I should bring that up again, but I don't know if you think we can actually take a Beyblade.
Don't
One melt
post reference
charge.
it, please,
Drop.
please.
Done.
Insanity.
Like if Space Marines were portrayed as they're supposed to be, as like extremely rare side things that are there's never enough of them to cover what they need to, then I think they'd be way cooler. But they're the main characters of Warhammer, whereas the Imperial Guard should be the main characters of Warhammer, and the Space Marines should be really cool side characters, but it's flipped the other way around, and it messes it all up.
To be fair, Eli, there are plenty of Imperial Guard stories where they are the main character. And the thing is,
Yeah, I know, but the
Space
focus
Marines
of
are
Warhammer
spread
and the
thin, but
Imperium is Space Marines overall.
the setting's so vast. That's the thing. It's like comparing one world
It doesn't
to
give you the
a
idea.
million worlds.
It doesn't give you the idea that
how
Space
many
Marines are
Ultramarine
uber
books
rare
are there?
when there's a billion books
There's
of
a few.
them. Yeah,
A
couple.
couple.
on every single thing.
Why do you think people get so? Because obviously, there's a lot of people who we like both settings, but yet why do people get so drawn to the super soldier in the human faction in Warhammer 40k, and yet there's no kind of
Well, I mean,
I
from
think
at least
draw
from a
in the other
mod,
direction?
from a gameplay army standpoint, it's because Army of Super Soldiers is cool. Let's not pretend it isn't.
Well, I think the thing about like fantasy is that the only like character you can talk about are like senior like generals or like a weird quirky thing like Gotrek and Felix. Like they're going to be rulers, they're going to be high-ranking military officers. You're not really going to have many more of like the lower caste of like lowly peasants, or like you might have like a couple, but like it's going to be Gelt, the guy who's in charge of like the wizards. You're going to have Karl Franz, the guy in charge of the Empire. You're going to have the guy in charge of the vampires and his missus, and the guy in charge of the Knights of Bretonnia. Whereas Space Marines are kind of like named characters, but not beyond being expendable. They're kind of like in that middle ground. Was like Guardsmen are expendable, but you can still have named characters. You get Primarchs, but then Space Marines are kind of that middle ground, and so you can also have them be butchered occasionally. I feel like we'll go for it.
I think it'd be cool if there weren't any successor chapters. Then it'd be really
that is damn. Even I'm not that anti.
Isn't that how we get variety though? That's the whole
Put that in the bin.
Yeah, I don't really care. But the Horus Heresy, you love the Horus Heresy. You don't need successor chapters in Horus Heresy.
But
and then there'd be way less Space Marines, and it would actually feel like super desperate all the time, and they're not just this. There's a gajillion of them, even though they're supposed to be really rare. But they're in every single freaking 40k book. I don't know.
You know what my favorite thing about the Horus Heresy is, Eli?
Also, you just say most successor chapters have like one paragraph of lore. Don't be so dramatic in the chat. Successor chapters are nothing burgers 90% of the time.
I will say, to be fair on that one, that's because they were mostly written when GW was cool and encouraged you to make homebrew lore, as opposed to buy more Marnius Calgar.
I'll say my favorite thing about the Horus Heresy, like, is that it ends and it splits up and then it diverges. That's the whole point. Like it does like Warhammer Fantasy and 40k. They are the settings, whereas Horus Heresy is more of a let's just finish the mythology part and then we'll give it a really crappily supported game to go with it.
And then we will rewrite the Istvan, the Drop Site Massacre book.
It didn't rewrite it though.
I know, not rewrite.
Well, it's a shame because that's actually really good. That one. That was a good book. Though.
It could be great. Where are
Do
my
you know
old
why that
world
one was
books?
good though, Colin? Because it actually had, even though they had perspectives of like, oh, they're all salamanders, they're all Iron Hands, they're all Raven Guard. The characters you followed in that were all weirdly like different. They all came from different home worlds, and they actually like you have a salamander character, isn't it, Andy? Who he was from an ocean world. Like it's just a really, and he's obviously been the salamanders, which are obsessed with fire. So,
and again, the beauty of a Space Marine chapter is you have all these divergent creeds and cultures. Like the Iron Snake's first book is amazing because it's just all about Ithaca and their culture of like this, not quite maritime, but all these like they have like the trench dives and they have all these cultural trappings, and it goes through like several decades of war with like a particular character. And then you have things like the Minotaurs, who are just assholes that jackboot their way through everything. And then you have the Garcaradons, who predate in the furthest reaches of the galaxy. And then you have the tragedy of the Blood Angels, and you have the Ultramarines being named characters, and then you have the Raven Guard being the sneaky boys, and like you have all these delineations of like they're named characters, but they're not beyond being killed if they have to. We know most of them will still be around because you got to sell the minis, but like,
do you know what 40k in the human factions has over, I would say, fantasy? Is that in 40k it's your chapter, your sandbox. You can really customize what you're making in the universe.
That is
Whereas
something
fantasy is more of a, you are playing the Empire. You can play like a region of the Empire.
To be fair,
I do actually, kind of overall agree on that. 40k is definitely more homebrew friendly because there's a million worlds out there and all that whatnot. Like you could just make something up and there's no reason it couldn't be canon for the most part. But I mean, I'm not gonna like, fantasy definitely has room for it. Like there's a lot of unexplored regions for one, where you could like different stuff like that. There's the entire Border Princes region, which is the region that exists so you can make your own army of whatever you want, basically, if you want a like solid location for it. There's, I mean, like, and again, like within individual countries, you can have vastly different cultures. Like, and again, like you can, it's, countries are big. You can make up your own lore for like an area of what this, place is like and fit it in with the theming pretty well. You definitely need to do like more legwork to do homebrew stuff in fantasy, but it's not impossible. But I do agree overall that 40k is vastly more homebrew friendly.
I think there's a big bonus towards that, like that setting though. Although again, like there's something about the, I even say like art direction for like the human factions. I just love how, I guess it's more in typically like older 40k stuff where like they went like, it's on the scale of like ridiculous, like the amount of like decorations and filigree and ridiculous 10,000-year-old pomp.
My favorite piece of Warhammer art is still the one of the Titan and the Stampa, and then there's a million things happening, and I don't think anyone is actually shooting at anyone else, but it's beautiful.
I mean, I even have
we'll go for it.
He's pulling out middies. He's pulling out middies. Kick him.
He's getting his cock out. Oh, it's Marnius Calgar. Look at that.
The goat.
Wow.
For the visual learners of you, I have the iconic Battle of Macragge, and this is, if you guys look it up, that is what I mean in terms of that is like peak Warhammer 40k.
40k has more aura, as the kids say. It has more aura, and it generally goes harder.
And
all right.
Have you guys seen that artwork of like the two Titans and one's punching one in the face and it's like falling? Like that, I was watching the Kill Lupercal show and I was like, oh, when I was watching the show, it's referencing that bit of artwork where they recreate it in the animation and it's actually the character you're following punching the other Titan from the other house. And it's like, oh, that's cool. They took this really iconic piece of art and they've integrated it into this story. And that's kind of like the neat thing about Warhammer 40k is that you have like all these moments and all these things like Rin's World with like the Crimson Fist falling. You've got Hell's Reach with the Black Templars. You've got all the Tyrannic War stuff with the Ultra Range. You've got Devastation of Baal. You've got the Battle for Chagoris, which is cool, but no one's read it. Oh, well. But you got all those things. And even doing some editing for an upcoming video on this channel, I was looking up things like, Dark Elves don't have much art for them, which I thought was strange for like a whole ass faction. I was like, it seems like Warhammer Fantasy, other than the work that again Creative Assembly have done to like bolster the aesthetic, it's kind of like difficult sometimes to be like, I want to find this bit in the lore. There's no visual representation for it. This character's quite a popular character. There's not really much to look at. That's a shame. Whereas like Warhammer's just like, here's Glup Shido number 58, and he's got 3 pieces of artwork. You're like, yeah, that's it. Give us more.
There is still some banging old fantasy art, though. Let's not say there's none.
There most certainly is.
I'm naturally looking at high elf art, but give me a moment to find the
you saw a high elf art?
Wow, I wish. Yeah, you happy? I'm not. No, you got like stuff like this, like that feels classic. They almost look like ghosts in the background. at the Shining Aurora. There's some good stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely cool art in fantasy. I
Ooh,
love it.
Hang on, I found the same image but in color
Mm.
and slightly cropped for some reason.
But one thing is, can a bunch of guys on horses in front of a big castle compete with like a hive world fighting with like ships in orbit blowing things up? And like again, the scale adds so much
Depends on
more
what you want.
variety of things.
Yeah, that's also a preference, though. Like the scale of that means every bit of fantasy is more like part of the reason it's less homebrew friendly is because you have actual answers and everything is fulfilled. Whereas in 40K, it can go, here's the world of X. And then we're just going to make another planet for the next gimmick
But
we
you
want.
could also have like 1 billion people fought and all of them are dead, and it doesn't really have to. You don't have to worry about it affecting like, oh, if you had like 1 million people in any faction in Warhammer Fantasy, then it'd be like, they're kind of on the back foot now.
Yeah, but that's its
like,
own positive. It lets you actually appreciate like small and large scale battles. And when there's a battle with like 100,000 people, and you're like, damn, this is a fight. This actually means something.
Well, one thing I would say that I find interesting is like with the elves, for example, as a direct comparison. In 40K, they
we have
are
a section for elves. We can talk about elves.
well, just this one point,
Go.
That in 40K they're basically an endangered species. In fantasy, they're not, and so that I don't feel like there's much of a like, at least on the surface level, there's much like a feeling of loss. If the elves lose a battle in fantasy, I don't really care as much as if they do in 40K. And I know that like the Imperium strength is that it's the meat grinder, but then I don't feel like there's much of a difference between factions in fantasy of like who's stronger than who, because they're all kind of like, they're about the same size, and you know, the dwarves or the elves or Nagash or whoever, they're all kind of like just as powerful as each other, more or less, because they all have their little turf. And other than the end times, it's like someone so lost a battle, so and so died, but did anything change until the end times?
Andy, you do not care when the elves lose battles in 40K.
Hang on. First of all,
don't be saying that.
So, like, there's been like, we get told the Imperium's on the decline, and then I read a book and it's another decisive Imperial victory. But I swear, guys, we've lost people out there. Don't worry, I swear it's bad.
So before we
one major big loss in a sea of infinite Imperial dubs.
Yes.
Demons infested the throne world, and there's gene stealers there now. Throne's failing.
And we still win.
Oh no.
I say infest the throne world. All the Corlings got kicked off almost immediately, and as did Magnus.
I say before we get any further though, I think there's been some lovely donations we should get to. Thank you guys.
So first one from Exarch Set, saying for 10 months, welcome back, Eli. Yeah, welcome back, Eli.
Donkey Man USA. Thanks, man. $5. Stream late due to Hal ending his times gooning style. Wow.
Wow.
Donkey Man
USA. Again.
Thankful is the protagonist. $2. Thank you.
No, don't.
So true. So true. I'm not.
This is a crazy dono.
I don't want to read that one. I don't want to read that one.
Uber 404 for £5. Oh, he's a Brit. Colin, don't stop talking. I'm nearly finished.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Did you need to put the stank on that one, Hal? Did you need to do that?
Colin, how does that make you feel? How does it make you feel?
Well, I feel like I'm on a podcast, so I'm gonna have to keep talking. So you'll be finishing at some point.
From Ryan, Colin has a very deep voice.
From Ryan Tanner,
he's doing things for people.
Apparently.
5301 for $5. I really should be cleaning my kitchen, but Papa Nurgle keeps telling me to play Rogue Trader while I listen to LoreCrimes instead.
I'll let the kitchen fester, I guess.
Wow.
Meridia's beacon. Another hand touches the beacon.
No. God, bruh. That's the worst.
Fuck you.
Thing.
Fuck you.
Right, where have you got the Meridia's beacon, by the way, in Skyrim?
I grabbed it on a bandit's corpse once.
It's always in a chest in Falkreath.
There's Gilliman, and OMG, it's Gil with the steel chair.
Huge.
Yeah.
Dude, the worst place I found Meridia's beacon was you go into a random cave. Yeah, you end up in fucking like Blackreach. And then I find Meridia's beacon in a chest. I'm like, bro, I don't want to be here.
By Stendar, this hoe has us play that goddamn audio track
may
at the worst time.
Strike this bitch down.
Made the infinite glitch of getting two. Is it Dawnstones? Dawn Shard.
Oh,
What's the name of
yeah.
the blade?
Dawnbreaker, I think.
Dawnbreaker. The infinite glitch of getting two Dawnbreakers so you can dual wield it. May that forever be left in Skyrim.
Angry Homunculus is also a member for 13 months. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
G- Marathi's seat cushion. God, I wish. Member for 30 months. Thank you. G-Man
Jesus,
drops
thanks,
his Gilladong on Archaon. Real end time. I don't know if Gilliman's going to be taken on Archaon.
Metric Steel for $10. I love the god with all my heart, but there is something about a Landsknecht. I can never say that right anytime.
Landsnecht is, I think, the best I can do. I don't know if that's right either.
This is Zweihanders, aren't they? Fighting the devil with a musket, and he can win that fight. Really makes me lean towards the Empire.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's that I know the thing. You know, the guard is just the average men and women, which they are, but it's slightly less meaningful when I look behind the average men and women, and there's a 5-mile-long armored column rolling through the demonic armies.
Yeah.
I feel like the muscle and strength of the average person is not the thing doing the heavy lifting here. I think it might be the fact you turned a grid square into a crater.
Do you know what I think you're catching on to here, Colin? The 40k is really missing a cavalry charge. Now, there are technically horses in some guard stuff.
There's some moments.
Krieg has some
two
Rough
books.
Riders.
One with a guy on a horse on the front.
I see, and I see the thing with that though.
It's not
is
the
then
same.
it's
A
like,
demigriff charge makes me hard.
Oh, that hits.
Bretonia equivalent or demigriff charge.
Look, knights are cool. Again, even
Also,
in all my hatred of Bretonia, knights are cool.
You've got those Mechanicus Striders as well that like had the big.
I see.
They're not allowed to turn off.
Yeah, they're not going to look
Cavalry
no matter how you write it, bro.
I see. The thing with like that too is like it always, and I know it's the point to some extent that the Imperium's so falling apart. They're using horses in a sci-fi setting, but it's like some of them are doing that just because they could have a tank, but they're stupid and they don't have the tank. The Empire doesn't have a choice. They have 13 tanks.
Someone did just
like,
say
5 of them don't work.
Someone did just point out the Winged Hussars arrive, which is a good song, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Winged Hussars arrive. Is it Saturn? No.
Sabotage.
Copyright him right now.
Kill Saturnine 782 with the 200,000 D.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Whatever currency that is. Thank you. Please inform me. I'm always curious to see like the different. It's just really intriguing.
It's Vietnamese. I'm not entirely sure.
Either way, though. Currently recovering from a traffic accident involving a car running over me and breaking all my ribs and shoulders.
Oh, no.
You guys have given me many laughs during my month-long hospital stay. Here's the more LoreCrimes to come. Jesus,
apologize.
I hope you get better, and I'm glad you're alive.
We've done from you
recovery. Holy frick.
Broken ribs.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts too much. I hope that doesn't hurt too much.
Yeah. I
what do you mean?
All things considered, it sounds like you took that like a goddamn trooper. Holy shit.
I meant laughing probably hurts when he's with broken ribs.
Oh,
yeah.
I think that's your instant then.
Or we all, I think I can speak for all of us. We hope you get a very speedy recovery.
Yes. Chat, wish him luck.
All the love.
Goober. Oh, that's the one from earlier, wasn't it? For 10 quid. This is towards the Baneblade fight fund for Andy.
Thank you. This will pay for the little rappel.
That's all he needs for his IED.
I'd love to be part of like like a Mythbuster style like testing thing only, where like with dummy grenades we need to prove we can just take down like a normal tank or something.
Hey Jamie, how much does it take? How many 35-year-olds does it take to destroy a Baneblade?
Rack, damn you!
More than 4. More than 4.
Oh my god!
Spooky Wookie the goat. Thank you for $5. To quote the Hulk Hogan leaked tape, "I'm tired, brother. No argument. Archaon and Cetera are better than Abby and the Silent King."
So true.
Probably true.
I'm just saying.
The goat, but yeah.
It should also be
Silent
said,
King has a lot of aura.
He does, but he's not Cetera.
It's true.
Doesn't Cetera just get like bullied all the time by Nagash?
But he says cool stuff when it happens.
He says cool things while he's being bullied.
That was also after 6,000 years of uninterrupted dubs, mind you. Which,
Yeah.
which I will notice no Imperial character does, not even the
No,
Emperor.
He
Abaddon.
loses with that aura loss. That's the
Abaddon's
secret
done
ingredient.
10,000 years of dubbing with the Black Crusade.
Has he? Has he?
He blew up Cadia.
Okay.
He's in the
Okay.
That
arc.
took 10,000 years.
He's slaying the
Okay.
big sword. He's doing great.
Bro, this is the whole.
Everyone in
If
Warhammer
monkeys had a
claims a big
typewriter,
This is
sword.
crazy, Cope.
No, but it's
if the
big
monkeys had a
sword.
typewriter, they could blow up Cadia. They had an infinite amount of
Yeah.
time.
I'm just saying, out of all, out of the 4 characters listed, exactly one of them has won Warhammer. Just saying. It was bullshit, but he won.
Didn't stick though. There's another
I mean, it
Warhammer.
didn't stick.
There's a new one.
Yeah.
Got back up. Warhammer got up and went, I ain't hear no bell.
Name is Chomsky, you changed your picture. I noticed.
He's just back to the normal one.
No, I think
Yeah.
that's someone else who has the ass gnome.
Yeah.
No, that's Nomia's Chomsky.
No,
No.
it wasn't.
A member
think
for
Colin's
8
right.
months. Thank you. Fantasy
Hey.
doesn't have call. Enough said.
Hmm.
Also, hi.
True.
Good to see you, man.
Hi.
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 Is that
Hello.
not the original Nomius Chomsky? Wow. There's more than one.
No, that is
No,
the
it's
OG
a
Nomius
different
Chomsky.
it's a different person. That is Nomius
Oh.
Chomsky, but
With
it's
the
not
butt gnome.
Nomius Chomsky with the butt
I
gnome.
think this one is
Anyone
for
knows
you,
in
yeah.
chat.
Donkey Man USA. If they don't stop getting funny, I'll stop getting racist.
Thanks, Donkey Man.
Horace
Oh my God, what a name.
Axelmog.
Little
Wow.
Horace.
Look at the head. It's all like Mr. Clean.
It's the
With the
Wait,
5
I'm getting even 4
pounds.
again right
It's
now.
Eli.
That's funny. It's funny. PFP.
So someone else should read this. This is now
right.
that I've seen the end, I'm definitely not reading it.
This is for you.
Thank you for
man.
the 5. Horus, Little Mogus, Mog, Targaddon, Mog on the living, Mog on the dead. No one leaves the battlefield unmogged. Also, Bretonia #1.
Jesus.
Bro,
no.
depending on the edition, Bretonia wasn't even #1 in cavalry.
Shush you.
Jedi Mando for £5. Unrelated question, but what's Colin's opinion? I guess humans are/aren't forerunners in
I'm
Halo.
wondering if Annie's going to yell at me. I'm of the opinion that I prefer when they're not humans. I feel like
Yeah.
it makes humanity more impactful as opposed to just we built all these super awesome things once and now we're just kind of
Yeah.
pilfering it back. Also, I will say,
What?
look, some terminals in Halo 3 mention humanity and Forerunners fighting a war. They didn't say civil war. They didn't say like a rebellion. It was a war. So that implies they're different. And like, there was evidence, especially Halo was like a soft marathon sequel, at least for Combat Evolved. But I know so many people bring up the cut content, the cut ending of Halo 2, where the Arbiter opens a casket and it's a human skeleton. It's cut. It was cut content. It's not in the game.
It's like when people are like, "Oh, The Exorcist 3, the original cut content ending would have been so much better," and then they released it, and it's just he shoots the guy at the end. He's like, "Oh, is that it? Yeah. Oh, it's kind of lame." It's like, yeah, they built it up for decades. Like, it's going to be better than the theater one. No, it turns out the notes the executives gave were like, "Yep, better ending." Just is.
I think
We have in chat, Shalaxi's wettest gripper is the butt gnome. So we all owe Shalaxi an apology.
Yeah, thank
Because
you.
Shalaxi's wettest gripper is
sorry,
OG.
Shalaxi.
We're sorry. We know you.
I was convinced it was Nomia.
Yeah,
that
see?
was it.
See?
Yes,
See?
there you are.
See?
There you
I
are,
was waiting
Shalaxi.
for this.
My bad.
I made a Space Wolf Gotrek homebrew. Love Big
I
Dog.
was
Nice.
confused because it was a no.
Why would you ruin Gotrek like that by
19
making him a
months
I'll
space
say
wolf?
before we should do a few more and then we'll have to circle back to these guys. You guys are very funny tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
God Emperor of Terror for the
Thank you.
CHF 5. I don't even know what that is.
Check, maybe.
Is it Czech Krona? No. Good day. I don't know what is happening here, but it is funny. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, that's LoreCrimes equivalent,
Mhm.
Real.
generally.
I have no idea what we're doing.
Well,
So,
we're
guys-
talking about elves now.
Yes, we are now talking about who does it better, Warhammer 40k Eldar or Warhammer Fantasy Elves. Now,
I'm gonna go get another drink. Enjoy.
Andy could
Eldar-
not give a
I like
fuck.
Eldar more than High Elves. I like Dark Elves more than Dark Eldar.
Fantasy mog, fantasy sweep. If you ask me, it's just total destruction.
This is what I don't get about
The elves,
Warhammer.
the fantasy elves get a whole lot more love than the Eldar do. That's for sure.
Yeah, people who like elves write for the elves in fantasy.
I don't get, like, I have a big problem. I don't know, a big problem, but as in, I've said it quite a few times before. Like I genuinely like Warhammer Fantasy elves are so like interesting. There's many different variations between them. Like they have depth. They have like interesting like, characters and stuff. I just don't get why the Elder doesn't have like that kind of like
Well,
pull to
it's
me.
a scale thing again because the scale's so big. It's just all of Simhan is like this. All of Iandon is like
Yeah.
this. All of Ulthway is like this. It's
Like, I
much
don't-
more spread.
I think craft worlds are interesting, but in some way, I also couldn't give a fuck about craft worlds. I want to see an elf planet. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to see peak civilization. I think it's an issue I have with like when we talk about like things like Age of Sigmar, where I said to Colin like a few times, like there's no like I don't know where anything is. Like if everything's realms, I don't know where it is. If everything in 40k is they're like traveling, you know, massive continent-sized spacecraft, I don't get as attached to it the same as something like a planet or a home world. Like you know, as much as they all have like separate cultures, well, like I don't necessarily, and the way they write them in 40k, where it's like you must stay on these, you know, strict paths, it almost ruins the lore of them because then they can't deviate. They can't be as
You can go to
unique.
other paths, to be fair.
Yeah, but they're all kind of like it'd be like someone saying it's almost like the craft wars are too similar to each other. Do you know what I mean? They specialize in certain things in combat, but
What
I
do you
don't
mean?
know.
The red ones go fast and the green ones like military.
Yeah, but it's not the same as
Um,
like wood elves. Is so different from
It's
the
true.
high elves.
They are entirely different. It's true.
Yeah.
There's no wood elves in 40k, which is a crime.
They're called
Exodites,
Exodites.
sorry. Who freaking cares? Nothing burger with the side
I'll
of
have
air,
you know,
please.
Eli, as Exodite's #1 fan, they got some minis recently, don't you know?
Yeah,
They did.
whole
No.
kill
I
team.
mean, hey, I'm
That's
happy
great.
they got that kill team, but you know,
I'm
it's
glad too. It's still nothing to me. I'm not gonna lie.
GW
Now you
would
can have
steal
one squad of
chair.
dinosaurs with your Eldar army, I guess.
You have 3 dinosaurs.
Great. Give a
Yeah,
brother a Saurus with guns on it, all right? And then we can talk.
I
I hate
particularly, as well, like the Dark Elf, like there's obviously Komara, which I guess in 40k should make me happy because it's like technically a place, like it's a thing you
Dark
go
elves are
visit.
stupid. Dark
Yeah,
elves
I
are
also
action.
so true, brothers. Dark elves are dumb. Glory to the high elves.
the Dark Elves were like the thing. I get this.
Sorry. Dark Eldar. What a fool am I? Dark
I get the
Eldar.
same
dumb.
issue though with the Drukari, that Komara is like kind of amorphous in terms of like it may be enormous. I have no idea how big Komara is supposed to be, so I don't get like attached to parts of it. Whereas if I look at the fantasy world map, I could look at it and get attached. Like, oh, I know certain regions. I know like Nagarond is particularly, you know, its culture is
What do
different
you
from
say?
other regions and other
What did you
stuff,
say?
which is Nagarond. Is that wrong, Colin?
Bro, you can't be saying that. Can't be saying that, man.
You're saying it wrong.
It's a bit.
Mm.
How do you say it?
Oh no,
You're
it's
saying
it's
it,
hard
you're saying
R.
it right
you're
now.
saying it right. You're saying it
okay.
right. The joke, the
Messing
joke
with
is,
ya.
let's move on. Let's
Oh.
move on.
He's doing
Okay.
edgy teenager musings.
Yeah, but I like that they have different. You know what I mean? Like the world map itself creates variety, and then Comrade just seems like one big amorphous blob.
Well, that's the
of-
the ups and downs with the scale. Like you can actually get properly attached to regions and know what they mean, as opposed to look, it's a world.
Yeah, but Comrade's not even a world though. It's
Yeah,
Where does Comrade begin and where does it end?
some ass end of the webway, which in itself is also
Yeah.
a near meaningless statement. It's in the webway.
Yeah.
Also, like the weird, like the differences between, I would say that I mainly find in like 40k to Warhammer Fantasy Elves. Warhammer Fantasy Elves actually feel, on the most part, smart. Like they actually have wisdom, or if there is characters that don't have wisdom, it's seen as like a point of contention. It's just like, oh, that person's a hothead. That seems really out of character. But 40k stuff, they sometimes write Eldar characters who are meant to be something like over nearly 1,000 years old, and they act dumber than the humans. I mean, Eli, what was that one you read? Was it you read a? Who was it? Not Phil Kelly. Was it Phil Kelly write that story, or just someone else?
Which one?
Gav
Say,
Thorpe. I don't know. It was with a certain.
which one are you
was it
are you talking
with
about? I was looking
Fugan?
for the model of the week. That is a Phoenix Lord.
Did he have a book or like some Eldar character you read and you hated that
Fugan
novel?
Fugan came out on the cover of the Codex and then didn't get a book, so that was really cool.
Because
Um,
there's obviously the Craft World trilogy. There's Valador.
I mean, like I read the Karnak campaign and I really liked it.
It might
That
be a
might be what
short
you're thinking.
story.
I just hate Farsight books.
I think there's a short story you talked about quite a while ago, and you mentioned
Oh, this is
how
ringing a bell. Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Eldar
it is.
character just like he made a stupid decision and got his like.
Oh,
men
is it
killed.
the sniper? What's his name? Ranger.
No, Ilik's the
Ilik
goat. Ilik's the
Nightspear?
goat.
It wasn't
Ilik
Nightspear.
Nightspear is the goat. I don't know. I do know what you're talking. I do remember this interaction somewhat, but I can't remember the story now.
Oh, is that the one where he's just like fighting the Necrons and he makes like kind of dumb decisions and gets his team killed? And you're like, aren't you supposed to be like a good ranger? He just kind of walks into a bunch of traps.
No, that's still the. Oh, it's look, Mr. Mike. Yeah, he's putting it's Nuadu Fireheart. It's this really
Huh?
obscure character who hasn't existed really since third edition, and he has a short story, and it's like utter garbage, and one of the most disappointing things I've ever read.
Is that the
Yeah,
guy who
that's
it's like the
name of
most
it.
stupid, obvious fortune? Like there will be a great victory for someone if you invade this Necron tomb. Or am I thinking of someone else?
It was something like that. Yeah, he's a Samhan guy who's supposed to be like really brave and cool dude, but some like goth Dark Eldar lady
Some
with her thighs out
gothy
convinces him
mommy.
to do stupid stuff. That's literally what the short story is about. Yeah, it was a Gooner book. It was stupid.
He's just
It was,
like, I
it
went
was
to
a
the
it
pub
was
the other
the
day.
most nothing burger I've ever read of a 40K book, even more than like the Silent King and books like that. It was a stupid short story. That is, yeah.
I too would throw away all I know to rail some Drukari.
Remember
Never mind, this man is so real, Eli. I'm sorry, I cannot agree with you.
Oof.
I don't know if this is a fair comparison to say, but like, I think in Fantasy does this a lot better than 40k because I think 40k. I don't know if Colin would agree with this, but they make the Eldar almost seem too human in a sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a part of it that almost seems like it's just a human in different armor. Whereas
Thorpe's kind of a goober. I don't know.
yeah, but if I in Warhammer Fantasy, I don't get that impression at all. Like I know they feel like very distinctly not human.
I do.
Yeah,
they're kind of humanoid. Anything that's
Depends on the
humanoid
book
is
that you
gonna
read,
have
though.
Yeah.
Not humanoid, but as in like actually like it feels like a person, as in like a human.
The
not
Eldar feel alien. The
elves.
Eldar feel alien sometimes if you read the right short story or novel.
I feel like the animation is quite
50-50.
good for this. Like, there's the Exodite animation where there's like basically an Exodite who's just like, oh, the Tau, they're basically just going to follow the same things that the humans are doing. They're a dead species, and he's kind of above it all. I watched recently the Renautica show, and it was all about like a Thunderbolt pilot versus a Sam Hain pilot of a Phantom, and they're having their grudge match. And there's like a whole bit. It was just like the humans, they die and we don't die, but why do they keep throwing themselves at just this they're clearly outclassed and blah blah, and he's like trying to confide with the other Aldo. He's like, they are childish creatures, they don't know any better. And it's like there are glimmers of that, but I do agree that like they don't feel very unknowable. They just feel like they're just arrogant humanoids that we don't die.
Do you know what ironically gets that feeling really well? And you're gonna laugh at this. The Dawn of War 3 trailer, when it showed the Banshees, it shows you their armor, which looks like ancient stone.
Yeah, the trailer, that opening is sick. And then Dawn
That
of War
gets
3
it
is the game.
correctly. They almost seem like phantoms, like they're haunting the universe because they're that old. I think that gets
Look, you just
tone right.
if you go read some different Eldar books, they might seem cooler. Like they're cool sometimes when they're not in the Space Marine book. They can be cool and alien and wacky. Just some authors are better than others. That's just how it be. I don't know. Phil Kelly actually wrote their codex somewhat decently. To give
Also
him one piece of credit.
Nice post, Colin, with that Aeronautica thing with the the dog fight.
Diary of Jane over it.
Yeah.
I say for the if we're ready though, the next section is
We didn't even talk
chaos.
about Dark Chaos. All right.
No, we did Dark Chaos. We did because I mentioned like
a little
about
bit.
Nagarond, which you
They've
were.
got,
It's
they've got
fine.
proper
It's
historical grievances as opposed to I sure do
Yeah.
love turning people into chairs, which
Yeah.
I granted the Dark Elves also do turn into a chair.
I must
The
find
Dark
I must
Elves are
admit that
needlessly cruel, but they at least have a legitimate conflict going on,
I do find it
and
strange that
reasons to have conflict.
they have a backdoor out of like being soul consumed by Slanesh. I find that a bit strange. Where it's like, oh, we can just kind of summon ourselves out of it with like rituals. Like, okay, seems a bit strange. Eating someone's soul. Well, it depends how powerful you are.
Yeah,
but
it's
like
probably the wealthy.
the homunculi, like we figured it out. Like, how did you do that? That doesn't sound like you should come back a bit broken. But they'll say, oh, I just suffered a lot. It's like you shouldn't be like. You should, and it's fun in their stories where like a demon uses it as a way to like smuggle himself into like a summoned Drukari emperor of the past, which is fun. But like most of the time, it's just like, oh, it hurt a lot. Like, is that it? You're not going to come back like I have memory loss or like a repercussion. It's just like, no, it sucked. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So other than that, though, we have another section which is chaos. Chaos in Warhammer
Reason.
Fantasy and Chaos in 40k. This is a pretty big this is a big topic. I think when it comes to
There we go. All done. Fantasy
when
better.
it comes to the champions of chaos, I would say fantasy does better. Like Archaon is more compelling than Abaddon. I know there's probably a lot of Abaddon apologists out there who are like,
Sandman
no,
of Terror,
trust
if you're
me.
here, run.
yeah, it's like, oh, but no, I swear, like each of the the 12 crusades were actually for a purpose. Like that was retroactive, by the way. They added that in. That's like someone's, what's the I can't remember the guy who's like in the that movie thing. It's like, it doesn't matter if you lose, you just declare victory or something, and then you go home and you just shout, that you've won. I don't find Abaddon as cool as Archaon. Archaon has like a bit more of a, I guess it's a bit of a, his lord's kind of weirdly, I don't really get it, Colin. Like it comes like weirdly full circle of his whole thing is, I'm not no servant of chaos. I'm not going to be told what to do. Ends up doing the exact thing he was told to do. So I don't know. How do you?
Well, he's
get
going.
that?
His plan is that if I kill everyone, Chaos has no worshippers.
Oh, he hates them that much. He wants to destroy everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that bad. he hates chaos so much. He's willing to become
doing
it.
a Darth Kreia. Kreia's like,
Alfarius
I hate
mentioned
the Force so much that I'm going to kill the
Alfarius mentioned,
Force.
kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself.
But also, like, there are plenty of cool Chaos Lords that actually, like, I feel like Fantasy doesn't really give Chaos characters outside of Archaon much chance to shine in their own novels.
Sigvald,
Wolfric,
dude.
Sigvald the Mog.
Valkia.
Mogger.
Corn has a wife in fantasy. Valkia the Bloody.
Wolfric the freaking Wanderer.
The
They're
Glotkin.
books. Or these,
Hammer,
like, they have novels.
There is a Wolfric book. There is a Sigvald book.
But like, how many-ish? Like, how many Chaos Lords are we talking?
It's not about volume, though.
No, but
More doesn't
my
mean
point
better.
is, Warhammer has so many like cheeky fellas who are just like we had the Xantine book. We've got the new Alfarius Chaos Lord guy, Solomon Akura. We've got like all the legion, all the bad legions, all the baddies have like plenty of guys like Typhus and stuff, of course. But then they also take a risk going, here's a brand new guy that's like, oh, we got that new Apostle book where it's about a new word bearer of Chaos Lord. And then there's the omnibus for word bearers. And there's so many Chaos characters. And then there's all the ones that are like the villain of the week in the books that are for good characters. It seems like they've kind of got such a dearth of perspectives and personalities that I think it's.
I mean, there is a million villain of the week Chaos Lords in fantasy too. They're just the villain of the books.
Yeah, so but they don't have as many like bespoke books where they take a risk on those kind of characters. Like even the Revenant Blade with the Night Lord's character, with the Night Lord's omnibus as well, etc. Like I feel like Warhammer has so many of those when compared to fantasy.
Part of that at this point is because Warhammer Fantasy as Warhammer Fantasy doesn't exist any longer.
Yeah.
True. That's why it's not as good as 40k.
I would argue that 40k
kill him.
40k does do Chaos Champions slightly better because even
Lucius
like
is the goat. No one can beat Lucius. I'll give you that.
you with each of the 4 Chaos Gods in 40k, each of them has like a compelling champion that you can follow. Like Andy makes the point, like you can follow throughout multiple novels and you kind of really get to know them. Whereas the fantasy ones, they feel more like archetypes. Like Valkyria the Bloody is more of like that's like a cool concept of a character rather than a character that you actually get to know and like be involved with and like follow their downfall. Essentially, that's more of a it's more of a creature. So they're more of a force of nature. But I do like some of them are like their designs are really cool though. He was I can't remember who's like the he was a part of Sigmar's like initial Umbarogan tribe, and then he's actually corrupted by Slanesh. I can't remember what his name is, Colin. He's like the demon.
Oh
prince's
yeah,
heir.
no, he was part of that, like the four chaos guys. That's wow, that
Yeah,
is
in the
super
DLC.
unbelievably unhelpful.
I know.
Yeah.
Four chaos guys.
There's an A, I think.
Unbelievable.
It's not Azazel. It's a really.
It's
I don't
Azazel.
know.
Azazel, that's it.
It is
Azazel.
Azazel. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, his design is really like I find his design cooler than I find Lucius's current design. Not necessarily the character, but like, the design and other parts. But then 40k has something like you got Typhus, you got Ahriman, you got Khan. You have so many like compelling characters that you can enjoy more. Although, and like even then, the Chaos Legions themselves are just ridiculous. Whereas I like Warriors of Chaos in fantasy, like just standard Warriors of Chaos. That is better than Black Legion. Fight me on that. I do not care if anyone says
Chaos is a
otherwise.
real threat. Chaos is a real threat in fantasy. Chaos in 40k is
They
a nothing
won.
burger. Yet again. There's so
They're
many
kind of
nothing
more
burgers in
terrifying.
40k.
Yeah,
Chaos
yeah.
Space Marine is quite a useless war that is like literally stupid. Joining Chaos gives you nothing, and it damns your soul to hell for eternity. Like Chaos is stupid in 40k. Chaos is just
Some
dumb.
people like it. Erebus is doing fine.
Yeah, until Erebus freaking dies and he's tormented for eternity.
We
Right.
haven't seen that. You're
was still
jumping
worth
the
it.
gun.
Uh-huh.
That would be so good. I hope Korn wears him like a fleshlight. He
That's
deserves
crazy.
it.
That's crazy.
I said, yeah, I'm saying the average warrior of chaos is so like intimidating because obviously there's no real like fantasy equivalent. That's a big tank of a warrior, and you've got no chance except your musket, and maybe you need 10 men with you. I think and then when you get to like the divergent chaos god part, I think 40k does that better because like if you're a fan of Zeech stuff, you're a fan of Zeech stuff in Warhammer Fantasy. No offense, Village isn't doing it for me. Mr. conjoined sorcerer twin is not doing it for me compared to Ahriman and the
Dude, you
Thousand
don't want your
Suns.
circumcised twin growing out of you?
Every day.
Full body circumcision?
Lovely. Yeah, well, yeah, I like there's elements in it that I like in both. I'm very reluctant to say I think 40k just edges out in terms of like every other thing they have with it, but I do really like just bog standard chaos in fantasy compared to bog standard chaos in 40k.
Chaos Warriors are cool as hell.
Yeah, and there's still good parts of chaos in 40k or in fantasy, even if it's not that prevalent. There's still the good aspects of the chaos gods, unlike 40k, where that's just completely done away with.
Nothing. Yeah.
They made them worse.
Nurgle's a fertility
chaos gods are better in
Morskins.
fantasy, that's for sure.
There's also more of them. There's also some we're missing on. There's Hashut. There's all the like the different minor gods.
Praise
Chaos
the
gods a
Iron
lot are kind of actually they came back
Brass
a little
Bull.
Age of Sigmar of all things. What's up?
Praise the Brass Bull.
Praise the Brass Bull, even though that's that's also Tarox the Brass Bull. But I see what you mean now.
Yeah.
But no, there's also there's a I'm just saying.
Him too.
I'm just saying.
That guy's Beastman. Beastman as well. Beastman is better in fantasy by a. I mean, they hate them.
Well, yeah.
Who make fantasy, but Beastman
They're
is
a
way
thing.
better. Because they're actually a thing.
Yeah.
And also, let's not forget Nuffle. Praise be Blood Bowl. Praise be football. Football.
The real god of
Right. Calls it football, barely kicks it.
Invents the name soccer, doesn't use it. Settle down, sir.
Yeah, we chose not to.
Yeah, I was going to say, should we do some
before we get any
donations?
further?
I'll start us
Oh
off.
my
So,
God.
Nomius Chomsky, if they don't start getting funny, I'll start getting $3.
Sexist.
Oh, I see.
$3.
Thank you, Nomius. Miss Man Jones 3555. Thank you for the $9.99. This is my first time giving you guys long-time fan of Pancras and the channel. I think you need to get off the Morathi simp wagon and onto the Elspeth von Draken hype train.
Elspeth's feet are too clean.
Okay.
I hate that you said that. I hate that you said that.
Goober 404. Hang on, I saw this one. I need to address something with the £5. Thank you. If they don't start getting funny, I'll start getting homophobic. I don't know you. I don't know, what you are. But statistically speaking, you are a man looking at the audience analytics. And you are the one who said earlier, Colin, don't stop talking. I'm almost finished. So, that he who lives in glass houses
should not throw cum. What is the rule here? Extra medium for $5. Colin, you convinced me to finally make my first models. On an unrelated note, does anyone know a good Harlequin paint scheme? Yeah, you throw your head against the wall and you choose something easier.
Yeah, I was
going to say, doesn't work.
Yeah.
Do I know of good paint schemes? Oh, plenty. Do I know how to do that? No.
Okay, the actual thing is there's a painter's tape, like a masking tape. You just cut that into strips and then you lay them people do hazard stripes.
Tiny little strips.
Yeah.
You just lay them, you crisscross them on top of each other and just that's it.
Do with Van Halen when he made his guitar design where it's red and black and white, and he put bits of tape over and he spray painted it. Then he took them off, and then he put more stripes on. Then that's how he got that Frankenstrat design.
Someone said, "Why was that my first thought earlier?" I apologize. Oh, Benadryl, Benadryl.
Hello, Benadryl.
Thank you.
For $5. Hello, LoreCrimes. Data reminder that Exodite models exist. Screw you and supremacy. My tent is still pitched.
Wow.
They're cool. They're cool. It's just you're not making an army out of that. I'm sorry. Exarch set. Thank you for $1.99.
Sorry.
We are all Chomsky now. I don't know if you read that already, but I'm reading it again, I guess.
Oh, you started reading as well.
Speaking of
Chomsky. Colin, you reject of a dwarf man. I'm the OG Nomi.
I know. That was Hal.
Yeah,
that was
on your side.
Hal's fault.
Colin catching strays, bro.
What are the names of your profiles, guys?
Lesbian girl riding evil horse
with an actual PFP. Colin, why the fuck are you wearing Coca-Cola pajamas? Is that
because they're comfy?
Fair retort.
Donkey Man USA for $5. Someone green screen Colin in a cuck chair on his wall.
We got 2 new members.
Skate later.
Skeletor.
Skate later.
Skate later. There you go.
Bro.
And also Green Tea Hag, who also commented, which Hogwarts house would each of you be placed in?
You ever
Slytherin.
Hufflepuff.
What is it?
Hufflepuff.
What's going on? Call it. Are you about to say I've never seen Harry Potter or something like that?
No, I've read the books. I've only seen the first movie, though. No, I'm thinking of the Family Guy bit. Hufflepuff. Slytherin. Housing for registered sex offenders.
Oh, man.
Oh, speaking a bit, bro. I did not say Hal out here saying game word. I did not say
he's gaming.
It's true.
He's got his game out.
Supercars lies.
Thank you for the 50K D Saturnine 72. Also, where's my 10-hour-long LoreCrimes beginner to expert the Roman Empire video? Can't wait for the separate second Punic War video from that. I've always thought that Colin should do a history channel or something.
I would need to
on his plate.
Properly lock in for that. Also, I'm quite busy.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Small Cox Colin cucks all of fantasy. Faku you 40K. You are next.
Wow.
Thanks for the
That's
€5.
Biggest.
It was a tough day for Colin.
Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah.
You good, Andy? You good?
Okay. So now that y'all back, are we doing mini of the week again? You'll see.
Yes.
Also, new ogres got me rubbing my belly.
They were good. They were good. What is that picture? What is that? Is that a carved
Snur Patata.
potato?
Yeah, maybe.
Malice
Remember, 28
Darkblade
months.
greater than every Drukhari character in 40k. True and real.
Real.
His
Very real.
books are quite
Number
cool.
20
Actually.
months. It's crazy.
Jesus
Mahusa's
Christ.
donation.
Oh
Red.
my
Red.
god!
Thank you, Red. We
Hello,
love
Red.
you,
Love
Oh
you.
god!
Rich Red.
Wow.
We love you.
How many cut chairs do you need to have before you're a fantasy? There's none. There's none in here. I scared my dog doing
making the
that.
dog
This is
run
your
away.
fault. I'm
God,
sorry,
he said
Steve.
The
Dog.
dog got
I'm
punished.
sorry.
Thank you, Red. We love you. What would we do without you?
Extra medium for $2. Especially, thank you very much, Red. That was incredibly generous. My god,
Thank you.
$2. Fantasy doesn't have CS Gotto.
Dude, shout out to the Dawn of
it.
War novels where he wrote that the Eldar steal Imperial tanks because they're better than Eldar tanks.
Yep.
Infinite hate and rage.
Yep.
Author did
And if
that.
I remember correctly, a bunch of children shoved a stick up an Autarch's butt.
Oh, of course. Why not?
Probably. You would starve Eli. What?
Donkey Man USA for $5. Colin wants my replacement laptop. Brackets that the HAL video annihilated. Oh my god. Arrives. I'm drawing thankful times Colin in
Sir, I've
Frog art.
explicitly stated it's just the elves, please. No rat.
Thank
Isn't that
you,
BCR?
Donkey Man. Thank you. Swiffy Swaff Brush. Thank you for the $5.
That's fun to say.
Name better characters and stories in Gotrek and Felix. Fantasy dub until Votan get better lore. Dwarves, your honor. True.
Graphics
Dwarves are
game?
awesome.
Good point.
Guy Biscayne's also a banger.
Mm.
I like Gotrek. and Felix.
Nomius again. We are sailing through the oceans of YouTube censorship, but by the grace of God, are we prevailing?
Yes, sir, you are.
I love living in the
Oh,
UK.
goodness.
Oh, it's Simon Jeffy for $50.
Thank you very
God,
much.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very
I
much.
was going to ask how you'll feel about the differences between 40k Slanesh and Fantasy Slanesh. Also, praise Fantasy for its Nurgle W's.
And Nurgle is the main character of fantasy a lot of the time nowadays, I feel like, ever since the end times.
I like both of them, but Lucius the Eternal is my goat, and the Emperor's Children are really cool. So 40k does have that going on.
Yeah, I would, Sigvald.
I think Fantasy Slanesh is scarier because they're willing to touch on the more darker subjects of it. Whereas
Yeah.
in 40k, they're all space marines and they only care about huffing spicy, stuff rather than actually. I mean, obviously, like it's not necessarily like if you're an author, I'm sure a lot of them don't want to really go there per se. But
Eidolon just like, want to buy some death sticks? And you're like, shut up, Eidolon. No one cares. Cut your head
Yes.
up again, bro. Swiffy Swaff Brush again for 2. Archeon had an evil girlfriend, Abby. No maidens. Wow.
So true. Dragon Schlong, he back. Recovered from his stuff. We hopes. Thank you for the $5. Colin, who's the best monster? Musume girl. I know you're
I've never seen that show.
Oh, it's a show. I thought it was like a thing, like an archetype.
No. Well, Monster Girl is a thing, but also I'm not reading that.
Wow.
I'm not reading that.
Goober404 says for £10.
Thank you.
Says thanks for that, Colin. I've finished now.
Wow. Make sure
Wow.
to clean up after yourself.
And Horror's Axie mod.
tidy as
Oh
you
my
go.
god. £2. Colin, which member of the Mournival is hitting raw?
None of them have any sexual like anything in them anymore, so none of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tarek,
The two.
Have you heard the one about his
the bear, because he's a gay man.
He's a bear.
Tarek Delgadon always makes a joke about the bears.
A hyperbolic back hole. Wow. For 5. How many more Halo reels do I have to send Pank before he responds to me? Also, this has been such a great stream so far. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I didn't know you were sending me Halo reels.
So real.
Gray Boss, love that profile image.
PFP.
Remember for 11 months. Do we know that? Do we know that the gene defects for all legions?
Mostly.
I don't think all of
What
them.
do you mean
have.
by this?
Dark Angels are fine.
Yeah, they're fine. I think Ultramarines are fine
Allegedly.
too.
Darkon just makes them assholes.
Yeah, their gene seed defect is that they're all cunts. Not even like the fun 40k way. They're just dicks.
Or not
Yeah.
like big cunt energy, as the kids say. Like it's bad.
They're
stuff.
not serving.
One for you,
No.
Hal.
Dragon Schlong for $5. Hal, why are you the front of r/thug shaker? Is this true? Why
Have a look. Have a look.
Look that up.
This guy's
While you
doing
do
a
that,
touch shit.
What is
Jedi
that?
Mando. Which
Oh, I
side
just
that-
learned
you
what that
guys-
was like a few months ago.
Is that for real? Is that for real?
Oh, this
Which
is an
one?
easy.
Have we found it?
Oh, dude, this is an easy answer. I picked the Empire in the Skyrim Civil War because a united mankind will result in more dead elves than a divided one.
Kill all
If
men.
I actually believed that was going to work, I'd be on that side, but I don't. So I'm on the Stormcloak side.
An independent Skyrim has no chance against the Thalmor. It's not going to work. Mankind needs to be
But
together.
the Thalmor are in control, man. The Empire don't got no control.
They're both getting ready for
Thalmor
war.
in
They
control.
know it's coming. Just give it time. You're too fucking
Yeah, it
impatient.
can't
You
work.
What is
stupid,
this subreddit?
filthy,
It can't work.
stupid Nords? Not the slightest bit of independence should be granted to them.
Literally having a Fusroda shouting match.
What is that subreddit? I have no idea what that even means.
You don't want to know.
Look it
now.
up. Look it
You
up.
don't want to know.
No, look
I
it
just
up.
did. I have no idea what the hell it was on about. Simon Jeffy for $5. This is the most Hufflepuff / Ravenclaw 50-50 split podcast ever. Decide amongst yourselves who is in what house. I told you I'm in Slytherin, man. I'm in Slytherin. I've got ops. I'm in Slytherin.
Nah.
Who is your
Hal.
Hal?
How's Ravenclaw?
Bro, I had people make
he looks-
supercuts about me.
Housing
He looks like a
horrendous
bird.
sexism.
Because they love you, Hal. It's because they love you, not because they're your ops.
Oh my
Monty
god.
Scarf. Thank you for the 5A. A nice thing to wake up to this morning. Which GW author would you lads like to have publicly humiliated and had tomatoes thrown at them? You already know it's Phil Kelly. You already know.
We probably shouldn't
No one
say
else-
because it's
no
going
one else
to
is-
impact our
Oh, wow.
careers.
All right.
Nick Heim.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
mate.
dude, I don't give a shit. I'm never working with GW. They don't care. They don't like me, I assume. Owlcat does though. I like Owlcat, and they
Oh, yeah,
sent me a Christmas
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
This is for you, Andy.
Voidedoni for 10. Andy, last night I watched a video of yours, and I don't know if I spoke too much, but it sounded like you were speaking at 4 times speed. Yeah, I kind of talk quite fast in my videos.
That's cool.
Hey, don't drink 50 milligrams of THC drink. It's a bad idea.
Okay.
That party was very slow for me.
Oh my
I have
god.
a-
Exarch 10.
Honestly, I have a memory, a vague memory of I went to a house party when I was at uni, and I only have one memory: arriving, meeting people in the kitchen, taking shots, and there's nothing after that.
Dude, those are
There's
the best. Those are the best
absolutely
parties. I wasn't there, but I bet I had fun.
I don't know how. I have no recollection.
Dude, that was-
like
that was-
a 10-hour gap.
That was New Year's for me one year. I got there, I played Battlefront 2. My friend said, "You want to get blackout drunk?" So I had 3 solo cups of pure vodka in about 30 minutes.
Ooh.
Gosh.
Ooh.
Surprised you guys still haven't done drunk lore crimes.
One of these
That
We
was
days.
like an
will.
OG
We will
idea of
be.
you guys.
Well, for a while it was, I'm not doing that at my parents' house, but now now my
Ah.
greatest problem is I drink my liquor too quickly.
We might do drunk.
Exarch set.
We might do drunk history. LoreCrimes.
Thank you for the 4.99. Yo, VC is plotting your kidnapping. Yeah, Big C, be ready. Call it. I assume that means Big C is calling.
Yes.
Give
Join
me
the
They're gonna
Discord.
kidnap you,
Give me
man.
just one moment. Yeah, you're all getting touched. I joined the Discord really quickly to say that.
Thanks, guys. I say before we get, if there's any more though, we should probably we'll have to circle back around maybe. But
Thank you very much, you guys.
yeah, thank you. The next one I think was characters. So characters between 40k and fantasy. This is a tough one.
Which emperor can still walk? Very interesting.
Isn't Carl Franz dead?
So true.
Isn't the emperor dead?
I guess so, but he's still kind of around.
Yeah, and Karl Franz is now the hand of God.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't Carl
And
Franz
then
like actually dead though? Like as in
Really?
the spirit of
Celestin
Sigmar had to
Prime.
inhabit his corpse.
Celestin Prime.
Is that confirmed to be Carl Franz?
Hey, who else is it going to be?
It's true.
I don't know.
Louis.
You make it a bed, baby.
Also, I'm just saying, yeah, flaming sword is cool. Flaming swords are cool. Only one of these emperors has the Warhammer.
Mm-hmm.
The
I
actual
think
logo of the hobby. Pardon me.
True. I haven't read enough Warhammer Fantasy books to actually have a decent enough opinion on which
There's
characters
a
are
bunch
better.
of good ones. I mean, dude, I like the Bruno the Bounty Hunter is fun. They got, Matthias Thulman, the closest thing to a witch hunter / inquisitor with a moral compass. Obviously, the Total War legendary lords are the big ones. Balthasar Gelt, my beloved, funniest guy on the planet. Obviously, Gotrek and Felix, of course, need to mention them. Let's not pretend that they're not doing a whole lot of heavy lifting. I say that like they're more so just like, damn, they're fucking sick.
It's interesting that the Gotrek and Felix stuff has had a few different authors, mostly like William King, then David Geimer.
Yeah.
Geimer. Then there's been like a few others who've done like smaller like projects,
shorter stories. Yeah.
Yeah, but Sandy Mitchell's the only one who's only done all the Caiaphas Cain novels, I believe.
Yeah.
So he's actually, he's been allowed to have that vision of that character, which God forbid, if there's another Caiaphas Cain novel, I'm so ready for it. I'm
absolutely buying it.
Yeah, I'm ready for number 15. I'm ready for number 15.
Let's do it. A lot of the 40K characters feel like archetypes. Like they're not a character; they are that faction, but make it a character.
Generally, Space Marines are already archetypes, so that doesn't help. But Warhammer Fantasy characters' achievements generally feel a lot cooler than 40Ks because the fantasy characters actually get to die, and it's not just plot armor all the time.
I will say though, Colin, with your point, I think that is true for like some of the more popular characters. When you read some of the more obscure ones, that becomes less so, just because I guess the characters are a bit like, especially Inquisitor books can be a bit more like risky and crazy. Like Atlas Infernal I read recently, and I was like, oh, this is a nice change of pace. But it was a strange book, and we'll never see that character, even though he was like the character who's like does the opening for the first Eldar Codex. It's his like quote. We'll never see that character again, even though he does some cool stuff, because it's just like, it's not Dante, it's not Marnius Calgar, it's not like a big Space Marine character.
I think with like, I have a thing for like 40K characters as well. I don't know, like it's a weird thing of like, even though like some of them are more like, they're above human, you weirdly get so much more variety in a sense of like, because you do have the human characters as well as the option. So I think like 40K kind of can give you both. I think the issue is like the 40K package is like more variety and better, but some of the fancy characters, they just almost seem so god tier like interesting that it's almost that thing of like, I don't know if some of them have an equivalent. That's the issue.
And like there's just so many like in Chaos and all across. Like Sigvald is very unique as a Slaanesh character. Like I don't feel like there is an equivalent to him. But maybe I guess Fulgrim is the obvious one, but the specific way Sigvald is written is like very different from this demigod tempted by Slaanesh. Like he was just a fucking guy that Slaanesh found it funny to give him everything ever he always wanted.
Yeah, I mean, Xantine in his book is kind of like that, but he kind of does everything wrong. He just ruins a planet for his own like sick, twisted pleasures, and then his warbands start to turn on him, and it's like, ugh. So
I'm gonna say there's like, look, even it's even my dislike of Space Marines and the Horus Heresy, the drop site, or no, the Istvan 3 atrocity. I'll say, that does make me feel a little bit something. I like that lore event a lot. All the characters, the Rylor, the two Death Guard, the one Dreadnought, and the one guy who, this is our death. That's good. But, it's only been Snorri that's made me actually tear up. I'm man enough to admit there was some tears when I read that passage.
When I got to the end of Siege of Terror, though, I was very much like, bro, I've been following that book series for like, I don't know how many deep. And when it finally came to the end, I was like, oh my God, like what is left in life? You know what I mean? There's a sense of, like, I don't know if everyone was willing to do that, because obviously it's a bit insane. Obviously we're like content creators, so we engage Warhammer more than most people, but that was like a bit of a
Mm.
crazy like cataclysm of like so many threads coming together. At the end of it, I was kind of like marveled at so many things were over. I know it's weird, like because when I read like some fancy ones, or like when I think about Godric and Felix, and I think, like at some point, it makes me sad that it ended. Like as in like it had an end point, that story. Whereas like with Warhammer, like with particularly like Horus Heresy or other stuff, I kind of know it was always going to end that way, so I don't feel as sad, and I almost like it weirdly get to enjoy it more, like because it almost feels like it's not over. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm still in it.
No, I get what you mean, and that is a fair thing. But I will say, to some point, I wouldn't say that's entirely fair because it's a prequel. Like it's going in, obviously there's going to be more because it's 30K and the game's called 40K. Which again, like there's stuff with that. Like, prequels have a lot of things they can do that more like, just ongoing stories can't. But I don't think I'd say that's like an indication of even one or the other necessarily being better. That's almost just like the medium of a prequel being a prequel. It's, it just lets you do different things, which again, for better and worse. Like for the better, like you can flesh stuff out. And then obviously for the worse, though, it's like, well, we know the end of the Horus Heresy from the start, even if they changed a few things that perhaps didn't need to be changed.
There's a lot of very flat characters in 40K. I'm sure there are in fantasy as well, but generally I find it more enjoyable to read about fantasy characters than 40K ones. But that being said, I genuinely enjoy reading side characters in 40K quite a lot, which are generally human beings and stuff. But
yeah, I do like a lot. I think
main character novels are often quite mid in 40K. I don't know.
No, I know what you mean. Like that's the thing though, because like the fancy stuff is maybe in a good way. Like, probably gonna hate to hear this, but it almost is like a slight mild blessing that it ended, in a sense of it wasn't like they didn't keep it around to keep pumping out content.
Yeah, it's better or worse. Like there is an ending. Now, the specifics of the ending, turbo diarrhea, but
yeah,
that like, there's no chance they can run a beloved character into the ground. Granted, because they ran the setting into the ground, but
I think me and Annie had talked about it. Like the 40K like novel has been like there's so many of them, and they've been going on for so long. Like the point is, like, it's probably not for most people, but like we've read so many of them, they almost seem formulaic to us, because it's like a thing of, you've come for ice cream, you got ice cream at your ice cream shop, why are you upset that you got ice cream which you get every single day?
Yeah, I when I read the books more these days, like when I read a novel idea that happens, like in the Sabathiel book, where they basically use like a custodian's body in attempts to try and like use him as a vessel to resurrect the emperor, and he gets infected by Nurgle and becomes like a chaos portal spawning point. I'm like, that's cool, I've never seen that before. And he's like, because he's basically like he's like in a vegetative state, and so they can do it to him. And it's like, we'll get this one chance, we found this custodian body. Or they'll be like, Atlas Infernal, which I read recently, which is all about like, I have to get this artifact to combat this sentient demon, and it contains the embryo of like a blank, and it's in like a lantern thing, and you pull it up, and it like soul scourges Grey Knights, and they instantly die if they look at it. And there's like weird little things like that I find interesting. But when it's Space Marine stuff, especially, it's usually Last Stand book, or it's trial to become a captain or a well-regarded member of the Space Marines. Like Ventress's books are quite fun, but that's like an exception where there's like 6 of them, so there's like lots of room for maneuver. And Chaos stuff is always fun, to be honest. Lords of Silence, the Honsu stuff.
Yeah. Chaos is almost always more enjoyable to read about than regular Space Marine stuff.
Even Godblight, where the Death Guard like, here's Typhus cameoing in this Gilliman book, Ultramarine book series, and he steals the limelight when he's there. Like, he's such a dick.
Regular Imperial Space Marine books are the weakest books in 40K. I don't know how they're constantly the most popular ones. Whatever.
I think because they ignore character development, whereas in the fantasy novels, they're not afraid of character development as much because the person is going to ultimately die because they're a person, they're a
Well,
human, aren't
even
they?
if they don't die, it's because of the scale, which again, I prefer the lower scale. There's only so much they can do.
Yeah.
Promoting someone to like chapter master can, change
Oh.
entire planets. Some guy gets a new sword in fantasy. It's great for his character arc, but he can only ruin so much.
Well, there is a book series. It's only a two-parter, which is the King's Blade books with the Imperial Knights. That one's very fantasy coded, where it's all like it's Daniel and he's his dad and he's fighting with his family, and then his dad dies, and then he becomes the High King of his household, and then the second book is all about like an exile from his house, his like friend, and so those books, knight stuff, you don't see often, but it's very fantasy, Warhammer fantasy, like where you have a realm and you have a kingdom, and that's fun. But Warhammer has that 40k has that advantage of just you can divert to a weird fantasy style story 1 minute, then you could do a Space Marine story, then you could do a World War II epic with the Guard, and then you could do a weird inquisitorial realm jumping heist, and there's so much stuff you can do. But again, you have to go outside of the Space Marine stuff often to find that stuff.
You can, and that is definitely a positive of 40k that I would say fantasy doesn't have. But the flip side of that is that, again, like these all feel like separate little mini sandboxes, like everyone's playing in their own little corner on their own, and nothing feels connected. Because it's like the thing with, Exterminatus. You can blow up 50 worlds. The Imperium won't fucking know about it for 300 years.
Yeah.
Like the actions don't have nearly as much consequence until you hit like the Great Rift.
But then again, I suppose the alternative is we have an end times looming in 40k.
I wouldn't say
and there was like the Black Crusade, the 13th Black Crusade, and now it seems a bit like that was like the presage for disaster, but the disaster hasn't really come yet. There's a resurgence from the Imperium, so that's kind of stalled.
That's just something that there's something that's even I don't even necessarily blame 40k as the setting for. That's just because it's GW's cash cow.
Yeah. It ain't going nowhere.
Farm.
At least 10 years.
Yeah.
I'll say
unrelated. I found an artwork I did of an ODST. You want to see it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Look,
yeah.
Is ODST.
Yay.
Oh.
Handycam.
Handycam.
Eli Cam. It's me. I draw to ODST. No, that was it. I had my folder on my
There we go.
Wow.
Yeah.
What the hell just happened?
We changed order as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I just turned all our cameras off and then I put them back on, that's all.
Ah.
I'll say we have one kind of last area of we kind of talked like throughout the whole video so far, the podcast, like about the general lore as bit. So I think it'd be okay to go to the kind of the last section, which is the models. Fantasy versus 40k in terms of models. It may be a slightly unfair advantage to 40k because obviously their models are, even some of their old ones are still being updated, whereas fantasy technically died and got resurrected, so it was offline for quite a while. But I do have to say, there's a slight downside for 40k here. They have, like I say, fantasy ones. If they have old ones that don't look as good, there's a certain charm to them. You know what I mean? Like you don't mind if it's, I don't care if my halfling looks like, basically someone who's been like thrown against the wall and told to walk again immediately. Like I don't mind if it looks a bit off, but 40k ones, when they have some blunders, and they have blunders that are only like less than a few years old as well. Like Inquisitor Kotias is an infamous what the hell is that? His face looks like anime. Like it looks weirdly proportioned.
But for every one of those, we get an Aphon Shan or something that's like, oh, what are you doing there, GW? Let me have a look at that. What's this here?
I mean, at the end of the day, we're just comparing old models to new models, so it depends what you want.
All right,
The old models all have charm and uniqueness. The new models are all sleek and fancy.
That being said, Cathay kind of came in swinging on the modeling front at least.
Very true, actually.
And even like the new old world stuff, like the new Warriors of Chaos.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's pretty real. Fantasy models are almost always more unique. I guess that
I
at the
will
end of the day,
say.
I think
Oh, pardon me. Sorry, you go ahead.
I think I probably prefer fantasy models overall compared to 40k.
There's something that in some ways is almost like some people might say it's a downside, but something I really appreciate about fantasy is that the basic models all look very similar and they fit together properly and they're not very outlandish. Like even like a lot of 40k stuff, and depending on the army, it's like all of it is very gaudy and heavily detailed, which is the point to some extent, but it feels like I can appreciate a fantasy like army put together more. Because for one, it's much more easier to tell who's important. Like the basic Empire spearman is a dude with a breastplate and some brightly colored, trousers underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas then, the Demigryph knives are the ones where, all the details put in because they're not random schmuck with spear. Like even some of the guard minis, which again, they're just random guys. Like there's a lot going on in a Kriegsman mini. There's like a lot of stuff with like all of that. Whereas like, the nature of rank and flank, I feel like everything fits together much more effectively. Like a big scale fantasy army, I feel hits differently to an equivalent point 40k army because the basing and like the design of everything in fantasy feels much more designed to fit alongside each other. Whereas in 40k, the models I feel much more designed as to be their own thing, which, has some positives. But this is an army game. This much, at the end of the day, it's a war game. And when the army's put together in fantasy with those models, even the older models, and let's be honest, the fantasy ones are by and large much more dated than 40k. I'm not going to pretend they aren't. But when a good old world or fantasy armies put together, I feel like it looks a lot more impressive than 50 different space marines that are either overly detailed or look identical.
But that's a space, like a guard regiment wouldn't have that problem. A Necron regiment wouldn't have that problem. Tau is a bit trickier because they got all the mech suits, but like that's a very Space Marine issue.
Even some of the guard stuff, like I said, like Krieg, there's so much going on. And some of it is like it's a basing thing, but the basing is part of the models. Everything fits together just physically much better in fantasy because it's a rank and flank game. Everything's designed to be put in blocks of formations and move forward. 40k is not really designed.
Preference, I think.
This is at a certain point definitely a personal preference thing. I will be fully honest, but to me the rank and flank and the way everything fits properly together because of the bases and the design of the game. A fantasy army looks much more impressive than a 40k one. And also because of like the way a lot of fantasy armies are built, they look vastly different. 40k, and it's something Age of Sigmar is doing too. I feel like it's been leaning more and more into like the army has the theme and it's all going to be the same.
Yeah. Although
not entirely.
Armies like Julius's, or the Lord of Skulls.
Yeah,
or them, or like knight armies are quite impressive to like look at, and obviously you'll have like there's no like named is it like Canis Rex is the only one who's like a named knight character for a model.
Andy, like, please, you're forgetting Lord Horum Canorum.
Oh, but he's not got a minute.
5 million words. I know what you mean.
The Blade of Koto, wielder of the heraldic flame. Yeah, all those ones.
Grand Cathay speaks to me. An army of Grand Cathay would.
I too like Dynasty Warriors. It's a great series.
I do.
With a dragon. I get a dragon, lady.
House of the Dragon. I haven't seen it.
The Ogre tribes call to me, my people. I would say, like, if we were talking about Age of Sigmar, it might be a slightly different story, but I mean, 40k does have some pretty incredible stuff, though. Like, I don't know if you get the equivalent, or I mean, the new Chaos Dragon is pretty ridiculous.
That's pretty good.
But 40k is like, you get all the Demon Primarch models, even if it's like little guys, like all the new Eldar refresh on their range looks pretty sweet. All the new Phoenix Lords are done really well. When they pull off 40k well, like I think they really know what they're doing when they hit their stride with it. Like they understand the brief quite well. Fantasy, again, like I think it might be like nostalgia talking a lot, but the nostalgia does hit quite hard with some of the stuff. But then other ones I'm I mean, like most probably 40k as well. Like some stuff I'm very meh on. I couldn't. Leagues of Votan could honestly disappear tomorrow, and I'm not sure anyone would notice for 3 days.
Bro
Connor
can't
would
go one
notice.
stream without talking about Leagues of O10.
It's
Oh
such
my
a
God.
missed opportunity. There's so
We know how. We
Oh,
know.
we know.
Is
We
it-
know. Yeah, there we go. That was for
you
the
agreed with
Votan
me, Andy, last time.
I
though.
know, but we've already shat on them enough for a month.
Okay. I think though.
even when I
Yeah.
was a younger kid, I liked fantasy stuff more than 40k at the time as well. I'm pretty sure. Although I played more 40k than fantasy, but something about the fantasy models is just different. It just hits different, as they say. I liked it.
It's
And I also like looking through the fantasy army books a lot more than looking through a 40k codex. Wow.
Yeah.
I think though I would say like overall, if you guys had to choose 40k or fantasy, so Eli, you'd say fantasy. I'm pretty sure Colin doesn't even need to be asked.
Guess
Nah.
I don't really
Andy,
like
you a
which one is
40k
better,
one?
but
I don't know. Like, I don't read any of the fancy stuff, to be honest. Like,
No, just like the models, just the models.
oh, the models. Like,
Oh.
again, I don't mind the models, but again, I like the Space Marine stuff. I like the armored vehicles. I like the knights. I like the Mechanicus stuff. I like the variety. I like how 40k looks, and I don't say that Warhammer fancy minis don't look good, especially their Age of Sigmar lines. Some of the stuff they come out of there is like whack. But again, I just like 40k more. I'm more of a sci-fi fan than fancy, I suppose. But
fair.
I like both.
Yeah, I think I like fantasy models more overall. Doesn't necessarily I mean I like fantasy more overall, but it's hard. It's really hard to choose something like that.
Wow, we actually had some reasonable takes. I think with that though, we should. There's a last few of the donations before we get on to
Yep.
the miniature of the week.
Let's start us off with Horus Axamog.
What
Colin
is it?
100% farting loads for Tarek. Crazy stuff.
That's
What do you
crazy.
mean?
That's
Yeah,
crazy,
yeah,
bro.
that's evil. We got to put this man in the contraption.
That bro's loose as a goose down there. Hot dog through
Oh,
a
that's fair.
tunnel.
Mhm.
Shalaxi's wet as gripper for 2 Canadian. I get the impression Hal is an odor kink. Colin is blank. I actually have the opposite. I hate bad smells.
Yeah, no, I don't. Unless you stink good.
God, take that back. I hate that. I fucking hate that. It's
Monkey
disgusting.
Man USA, him and Mike and people were arguing about if Snorri is washed or not. Basically, I think you're the $5.
Snorri's
Silence
the
Mike.
goat.
Snorri knows better. Is my top guy. My
Snorri's the
toppy
goat.
guy. Even.
Simon Jeffy, does 40k have Boingob though? It doesn't.
Fantasy
No,
doesn't.
Fantasy also doesn't have Boingob.
Yeah, sorry.
But they had Boingob.
That was in Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Robert Smith YM5QX for
Of course
$4.99.
it did.
Last, the Cypher Adric video had a dedicated section for Hal talking about his models. I couldn't help but buckle. That is actually not true. Bricky, they asked me. I think the context is DK has Thousand Suns. I asked him if he had done any more painting on them. He's not touched them for like 3 years or something.
Kill this
And then,
man.
and then Bricky asked me if I painted my models, and I said I finished painting my Thousand
Oh,
Suns.
well, yes. Here you go. Look at my Magnus the Red.
In fact, Magnus is not
This
here.
son-
Actually,
this son of a bitch.
It
Son
could
of a
be
bitch.
worse. I did an episode of Dead Space for acceptable losses, and I had to go take a piss, and they kept that in. They forgot to delete it. I'm like, whoops. Oh well. Never reported. Funny. Big one.
Ooh,
My
Red
goodness.
Mammoth
Ooh.
87.
Thank you very much. Bless your
Thank you
soul.
for the $50. First time super chatting you guys or anyone. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Watch you all in some form or another. So thanks for all the great entertainment, fellas. Of course.
thanks,
Thank you for
man.
being here.
Thank you.
Love both settings because there were dwarfs in both and they are the best. Don't care what you say. Hail.
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 Haley.
Thank you very
The
much.
dwarves, they're not dwarves, they're squats in 40k, and they're like
They're not
imitate
even
like
squats anymore.
diet dwarfs.
We're cooler when they
Monte-
were squats. They had funny American motorcycle gang culture.
Monte
Mhm.
Scar for 10
Thank you.
Australian. I kind of want Gilliman to meet Kane and share a drink with him as they both vent about the idiots they have to deal with every day. Kane will be quietly shutting himself the whole time. I think Kane couldn't muster a word in front of Gilliman because he'd be afraid he would see him for the fraud that he thinks he is.
Yeah. Imposter syndrome.
Biggest Squiggin. I love saying that name.
It is a good
$2.
thing.
New WC Mog most of 40K. Those new models are so good.
They do.
Yeah, chaos. This is a pretty good point. Void, Voidy Donny, thank you for 38.48, $5. I like 40K because I find aliens hot.
I didn't
Is that a
know.
picture?
Yeah, fair enough.
Orange with
That is
Arabic
Ben
writing
Shap-
and
no, that is-
Anision?
Orange Ben
Yeah, that is
Shapiro.
Orange
Is it
Ben
Mars?
Shapiro.
There's not
Wow.
Anision? I thought it was-
With,
Also,
with Arabic over it.
I didn't know we had Commander Shepard donating to us.
I was going to say, you should check out Mass Effect. You can bang
You
the
would.
aliens.
You'd love Mass
Yeah.
Effect.
But not the Krogan, which I think is a crime. It's like, oh, the Krogans, they have a quad. Why can't you bang the Krogans? Anyway,
4 balls.
Big Micah HC, I'll say. 40K has tanks and never had the end times win.
Well,
They have steam tanks.
We got Steam Tank.
There are
We got the
tanks.
Steam Tank.
The tanks
one.
part is just wrong. The end times is just kind of
So-
unfortunate.
Fantasy coming out with like
second-
Leonardo da Vinci's plans for the first tank. It's like, does it work?
There's also the Doom Wheel, which is not quite a tank, but by God, is it more interesting? It's
Sure.
funny.
It's kind of weird that
a
kind of weird that
second.
dwarves don't have a steam tank equivalent. They got freaking gyrocopters. You'd think they'd have some kind of tank thing.
The
Yeah.
Marienburg steam tank has just hit the second end time. So
The big land boat.
spooky, good to see you, man. Spooky Bookie for $2.
Thank you.
Warriors of Chaos, most iconic Warhammer models. Period. That is so true. Hell yeah.
Well, have you ever seen a Tau battle suit? They're pretty iconic. I love them. I got them in my
the Tau
Warhammer.
need a
Don't
refresh. So
patronize
bad.
me. Don't patronize that. No, they don't.
Yeah,
Anyway,
why don't you show us your models? That's fine.
I meant my in-laws, bro. Actually, I have my models. They're actually no, I don't. No, they're homestead.
I love
My
the idea that
models
you
are
have like a
freaking
stash
cool,
of
by the
minis
way.
at your in-laws. It's like just in
And
case
also,
I need them.
battle suits have been updated. We Tau need a refresh. I'm gonna kill this guy. I'm gonna fly to UK, kill this guy. Tau got the best
Okay.
models of 40.
Tell me about fucking Cold Star fuckface or something. It's joking.
Bro, Tau models are all up to date. I don't know
Commander
if there's-
Piss Tide
They need an update.
went out with a
Whatever,
new battle suit.
Whatever.
Simon Jeffy for $10. Warhammer Fantasy has the audacity to give us vampire pirates and not give us the ability to field them. That is true. Vampire
very true.
Coast
Where's-
is amazing.
That is pretty
Where's
true.
Where's Harkon's top guy? Luther Harkon's top guy. We haven't seen him for a while.
That's true. He's not been on my end either.
Wow.
And
Alright.
last one here, Fat Ghost Production has become a member. Thank you very much.
Thank
for
you,
your
guys. Thank
There's
you
been
so
another.
much.
Never mind. We don't need to read the next one. We don't need to.
Come
Never
on,
mind.
come
Never
on.
mind. No.
He's gonna read this.
Colin, it's for you. He's given his money. He's given his hard-earned cash.
Goober404, thanks for the 10 pounds. Love you guys. Thanks for all the good content. You're very welcome. Also, Colin, I'm ready to go again.
Wow,
Oh, it took him 20 minutes to get back up. Wow.
pretty good recovery.
With that being said, though, guys, we have once again the mini of the week is back,
Mhm.
and we've chosen a
We didn't
little
forget about it.
selection for you guys here.
So I'm going to start with, I believe this was Colin's pick from Liv.
It's pretty cool.
Hey, he's a rude
Yeah.
priest.
Yeah, it's Space Wolf. They painted for a friend, which, you know,
Oh,
I don't like the wolves, but I think it's a cool paint job. I like the axe. You know, it's for a pal. I can never hate something, you know,
Yeah.
especially
that's
that
real.
painted, a gift for a friend.
Who's that by?
Live.
Live.
Yeah, thanks,
I
man.
want to
Very
live.
sweet.
I want to live. The next one, was this your one, Eli? It was spooky.
Ooh.
This is, I don't know if we've featured this before. This is Spooky Kabuki's Usharan. Bro's always posting up his fancy ad models. I need to get him to paint
Spooky
them
showing off
someday.
with all those minis. I'm like, oh, you got like
I mean,
here's 7. Like, oh, spooky. We can only pick one. Yeesh.
There's nothing to say other than it's freaking Usharan and it looks very good. I don't know what else to tell you. It's better than anything I could ever do. That's for sure. The blood effects be going crazy down there.
Ushatan, look at
This
him.
girl.
I gave him the Magnus sword. We
Bit
are
of a sloppy
twins.
eater. Yeesh.
This model is so good, by the way.
Eat with your mouth closed, mate. Yeesh.
Yep.
I wanted
I
to
wish
see
there
you
was
there.
something- I wish there was something I could think of to use this guy as in like 40K or something.
Make him
He's
a demon
so
prince.
powerful.
He's a
True,
demon.
Demon Prince, I guess.
He's my demon
If I ever
prince.
played my Chaos Space.
Get him out of here. Get out of here. Get
Yeah, my
out of
bad.
here. This
My
isn't
bad.
your time to shine, Hal. This is for all the community. This one, I believe, was this your pick, Hal?
This is
Also,
by
this
This one's
night.
from Night.
Reminds me of the
Yes.
stick Necrons. That's
I love
awesome.
this. I love this trend. This is so. It's annoyingly funny how well the weapons are painted as well. Like it's so quite funny.
True.
You know
I
that
like
meme
the
of
stick.
like the horse where it's being drawn and it's cut into frames and it's just like
Yeah.
it gets worse. It's like, but this is
Game of
like in the
Thrones.
middle. Yeah. Oh,
I
why
like
did you pick this one,
man.
Hal? Other than funny, I like the eyes on the belly.
Does it need much explanation? I think this is. I mean, can I just point out it is perfectly edge highlighted as well.
Yeah.
Like this is it's just this is just funny.
That's awesome.
I like
the
this.
anemic Death Guard.
Yeah.
And then my pick was from Donkey Man. It's a Skaven
Oh,
Knight.
Continuing the cool Skaven stuff.
Is
That's
that
awesome.
Hellbrecht?
That's
Yeah.
stripes.
I think that is Helbrecht.
That's
It's Hellbrecht.
Hellbrecht
The
with a
Hellbrecht
Skaven's
model.
head, and like is that a
That's
Space
cool.
Wolf shield with
No,
Iron Warriors?
Is that looks like the minute? Is that like the who's the Minotaur
Astarion
guy?
Moloch.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that his
Astarion.
shield?
Maybe that's a big shield. I think it's too.
It is
It looks
big.
too big to be a Space Wolf thing.
Yeah.
It's just the little holes in it look like the like honor guards shields
Oh,
they have
yeah.
in the Space Wolves, but then it is like
Cool.
they should
Too
be like
circular.
empty.
Is it a headhunter's shield? It might be a headhunter shield from the newer
yeah,
Space Wolf stuff.
yeah, but I feel like it's had an edge added to it or something. But yeah,
That is cool.
Space Wolf Dreadnought
Dreadnought
shield.
shield. That makes
There you
sense.
go.
That makes sense.
Donkey Man, your army is so cool, man.
Yeah, more.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, that
Yeah,
was
one more
our
donation.
Oh, okay. Yes, we have
we
one
messed up.
donation. You want to read this one, Eli?
Sure. Justin Pierce, 9611. Thank you for the $5. AOS has to be included with old world / direct line of plot. Models are the most important part, so therefore AOS trumps fantasy over 40k. As you wish.
I just like Space Marines, okay? I think they're cool.
They do AOS
Therefore
do cook.
better. Therefore better.
Everything the AOS team does, except for the Stormcast, is better than the 40k ones.
Hmm.
They
They do
look
cook.
cool.
What are we
I
going to
can't
do with the
really see much
Stormcast now?
else about it, though.
Make them silver. Ooh. Okay.
That did actually help, to be fair, though. I guess with that being said, though, hopefully we've worked out if fantasy or 40k is better than the other one, or at least people had some opinions on it. Thank you guys for listening, for watching. Thank you for all the donations this stream. That's very generous of you guys. I
Yeah.
really, really appreciate it.
Thank you,
Hopefully,
everyone.
we gave you some good entertainment, a good episode. You guys entertain us a lot, and we really appreciate you guys.
And we should mention that we will not be here next week, but we do have something already planned. So a Stalwart series is coming back from retirement for a bit, and you'll be able to enjoy our dulcet tones regardless. But we won't be here next week, but the week after we should be back to our 9 p.m. GMT slot, I believe. So now that Eli's back from Japan, Colin's back from the UK, we're all together
Here at 5 in the morning anymore. Thank the Lord. Oh my
Crazy.
gosh.
You actually did it. Thank you guys for listening, for watching, and we'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Join our Discord. Join our Discord.
Check it out. It's cool.
Like and subscribe.
Bye.